and you're now tuned into the recap with the GoodFellaz podcast. You know how we do every week. We back in the building. As always, there's something to talk about. GoodFellaz is in the building. Man, as usual, it's going down in a week. So, like I said, it's your boy Tommy Guns alongside my man Sean Montana. What up?
What up, what up? See, I'm repping GoodFellaz all day.
Karev, yeah, Heritage Hip Hop. What's good?
What's going on, y'all? Salute to everybody out there.
Dav Noble, AEP Presents in the building.
Yo, what's good? What's good?
And Big A will be in here in a minute, actually. So, like I said, man, we was chopping it up off air. I mean, first things first, we want to say shout out to everybody tuned in right now, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, however you're watching this podcast or listening to the podcast. We appreciate y'all. And as always, leave comments, suggestions, topic. You got a topic you want us to talk about, holla at us, and we'll get into it. But unfortunately, you know, politics still dominates the airwaves right now for at least another week or two. So we're going to talk a little politics. We're going to talk, we're going to get into that vaccine talk. We got some video games to talk about. But first things first, post-election chapter 27. Because I feel like the election's been over, but it didn't really end. You know what I mean? So on this chapter, seems like everybody's least favorite president, Trump, just does not want to admit he lost, to the point where he's not only denying it, but he's got like representatives of his government literally creating like this alternate reality where there's going to be a second Trump term. So, you know what I mean? We're going to get into it real quick. We really don't even want to dwell on it too much, because let's keep it 100, guys. Like, it's a wrap for him. And at this point, he's really just doing this for his followers.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, listen, if there's fraud, and my thing is, if there's fraud, just give the evidence of the fraud and let the process do what it's got to do. Like, if there's evidence of fraud, like real evidence, okay. But from everything I'm reading, there's no real evidence of fraud. So it's like, at this point, it's like, dude, man, just, you lost.
Take the L.
Yeah, just take the L. If you want to do what you got to do, come back in 2024. You know what I mean? Try to in.
Be alive.
I mean, he'll only be 78. I mean, you know.
Yeah, listen, but that's how it is. But he's just not used to losing, bro. Everything was being a winner, and he still has to try to find a way to be a winner, even though he's losing. So
exactly. I think much of the quote unquote Trump mythos was always like, win big, I'm a winner, you know, I never lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was his image. Yeah. So the fact, and I think part of him really thought that, you know, because he was him, no matter what the polls were saying, no matter what the media was saying, he was just going to win because he was him. And, you know, the fact that he, you know, surrounds himself with, you know, a bunch of yes men, and, you know, he goes like Oklahoma where people are like cheering his name. So he kind of lives in his own reality. So I think part of him really didn't expect to lose. And he, you know, and I think personally that he, like, you know, he knows he's going to take the L. He knows it's rap. I mean, it is what it is. But I think he's trying to set up a scenario where he can convince his cult followers that, you know what, we didn't really lose, we were cheated. It's like he's trying to set up an acceptable alternate reality where they can kind of, you know, so he can be like, I concede, but I didn't really lose. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, yeah, because a lot of his followers, they brought into the whole cult-like behavior because, you know, he had this myth of, you know, he doesn't lose, he's always winning. So the fact that he lost to them, that's like a blow, because all of a sudden it's like their hopes and dreams depend on that. You know what I'm saying? You know, but anyway, so Karev, Heritage Hip Hop, what do you think about the situation? Do you know anybody personally who is still on basically saying that Trump didn't lose, or they actually believing what he's talking about?
In my personal life, no. but I see the ramifications of Trump losing in
Mhm.
lots of forms of life, from the evangelicals. Right
Mhm.
now, shout out to Paula White for the illest remix out right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, she funny.
but besides that, I've seen a lot of people are holding on to the Trump flag and now upset that they have to go back into hiding because they wanted to be the outright crusade of this is the right guy. But you know what's surprising? I see a lot of black people really calling for Trump not to leave right now, especially men in the South. I've seen that, and I've seen a lot of the people who did not vote talk about what did Trump actually do versus what is Biden actually doing, and they're talking about the NAFTA and the vaccination talk with that. And I mean, I got to give it up to Trump. At the end of the day, whether you like him or hate him, this man already secured a television show on his way out of office. And the main thing we heard is this man has barricaded himself in his office, not giving up the idea that he has to leave. And in American history, this is the first president who said, and y'all can look this up on ABC News for footage. He said, I am going to sue after I win so I can get a third term. And I'm thinking after my third term, I want to pass this to my children.
Yeah, dude, this guy is delusional, fam. Like,
Yeah.
and it's just, it's listen, it's at this point, like, it's sad. And the fact that, like, this is the leader of the quote unquote leader of the free world, man. This dude is sitting here acting like a child. Like, at this point, I'm just ready to move past this chapter, even though I know this chapter is going to last until, whenever the inauguration is. But
after that,
yeah.
And it's because he's just going to, like you said, it just seems like he's the kind of person that's just going to always believe in his mind that I didn't lose, I was cheated, whether there's evidence of cheating or not. Like, he's just going to say, I didn't lose, I was cheated, and that's going to be his thing. Like, it's funny, he's going to become Hillary Clinton, basically.
I think he wants to be like a martyr. Like,
he's going to become Hillary Clinton, bro, because that's what Hillary Clinton did. When she lost, she went on a tour, like, with a book, just basically talking about how, she lost and how certain things weren't done right. And that's probably what he's going to do. He's going to become the very person he tried his best to demonize when he was a president. Like, it's sad, man. I'm ready to move on.
Honest.
Word. Yeah. Yo, Big A, what up, yo?
What's going on?
Chilling. Yo, we're glad you finally made it, in the building. So let me throw the question your way. How do you feel about this situation? Do you feel like there's a method to his madness? Do you know anybody personally who feels like Trump actually didn't lose?
Nah, I don't know anybody who really feels like he didn't win. I mean, he flat out in all the polls, and if you look at all the states all the states that flipped, you can clearly see that. I mean, like, he clearly lost by a large margin in most states. In most states, he clearly lost by a large margin. In the states that he won, it was literally by the skin. He didn't like dominate many states. So, like, it was a close race, but he got really dominated in the polls. Like, he literally got dominated in a lot of the places that he normally would have won as he previously won against Hillary. So it's just sad to see, he's an older man. It's sad to see that his money, his power, and all of the influences that he had actually is literally making him look crazy now.
Yeah.
He's literally looking crazy, not just to the American people, to the world, because the world is watching this now. Like, the world is watching the transfer of power, and now we're looking more ridiculed than ever right now because he's refusing to concede. So because of that, like, it's gonna take a toll on the Biden actual
transition.
The transition. But at the end of the day, man, hopefully this doesn't prohibit any good that Biden's trying to do. But of course, every president's got their own agenda. So we'll see what Biden's agenda is going to be.
Yo, Shah, do you feel like Trump refusing to concede tarnishes his legacy, or can it be tarnished any further? Like, do you feel like long term this is going to be a good look or a bad look for him?
It's going to always be a bad look on him. I mean, because this cult following he's got, where did they come from? They just he was just like somebody that came out talking all this, basically a savior for white people in America. And when he doesn't say,
not just white people.
Yeah, not just white people.
What you mean, not just white people?
I feel like I mean I don't mean to.
Well, he says
I feel like
make America great again, but let's keep it real. Who's he
of,
really the spokesman for?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of it is he incorporates a lot of that I guess white nationalistic anger, but I feel like a lot of it's disenfranchised in general. I mean, I know Spanish, Black, like you know what I mean, like who also ride with him. And
one thing you have to realize about Black and Latino people is a lot of us are fucking stupid. All right, at the end of the day, yes, a lot of us are stupid enough to believe Trump. You can't front because you see our people voting for Trump.
And
a lot of us are stupid.
And what's funny about that is that every time I listened to Trump, I followed what he did the 4 years, I paid attention. And every time I listened to him speak, when it came to minorities and when it came to people who weren't part of the white kind of nationalist crowd that were the most radical part of his base, you never heard him talk about like white people and minorities living together.
Yeah.
It always, we're going to make America great. There was a fear tactic used about like minorities moving into the suburbs.
Yeah.
Then there was, okay, so we're going to keep the suburbs one way. And then you guys, minorities, we're going to give you opportunity zones
in the hood.
In the hood. Like
my brothers, y'all got to read books like the Turner Diaries and things like that. You got to understand how these people think. They feel that they are losing America.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, we agree.
That's what I mean by Trump spoke up for, as you use the word, disenfranchised, but particularly the disenfranchised white people that feel that they're losing this country.
Yeah.
Like they really feel that Barack Obama was a step in the direction of people of color, taking over the country. Like they feel that they're losing this country.
Absolutely.
That's why there's always a bad guy. You have, the socialism and everything that the Democrats are talking about. Like the Republicans is on it. They're over there saying, oh, they're talking about what's that? The bad guy during the '60s, communism. They're saying like, yo, we're losing this country to all these minorities and to these Latinos and
anarchists and
yes, but what immigrants do they care about? They only care about the Latino immigrants. They never complain about immigrants from other countries. Why?
Because
they don't even like Latino immigrants, honestly.
No, that's not true. That's not true because even when you look at the census forms, like I said in the last week, when we look at this election taught us America is more divided than we thought, and when we look at the classification of white Hispanics and stuff like that, and how they voted against traditional Hispanic groups when it comes to the country. Listen, man, Trump has exposed just how dangerous it is in these times to have the thought patterns and processes that's been embedded in us for centuries, if not the last 20, 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Well, wait, it's the 20s, 80s, 40s.
I think you're right the first time, centuries.
But I mean. But I mean, now that we have the ethnic census codes to go with it, it got worse. You know what I'm saying? And I was watching a Ku Klux Klan podcast, right? Shout out to the Klan, yo. I love y'all, man. I was watching the Ku Klux Klan podcast because I like to get information from everywhere. And this is the thing that I think this is the thing I think that really gets us, where we have to think about it this way. Religion is the major thing that they're using to push racism in this country.
Yeah.
And the Klansmen said, when God made the world, he separated everybody into different nations for a reason, because they were not supposed to be together. That was the first thing he said. He said, America is Babylon. And we hear that because of all the evils from hip hop and all that. But this Klansman broke this down very so eloquently. He was like, America is Babylon, not because of racism per se. He said America is Babylon because you will never have a country where people of all different races live together in peace because there's too many differences. And because this is our country, we have the right to police and do what we need to make our country pure and white the way it was always supposed to be. The laws are in our favor. The money is in our favor. And because these niggers, these Hispanics, and these criminals and these faggots, as he said, pardon language, everybody, but because of that, we're not going to let this country fall to what they call equality. Everybody could be equal under our rule only. And he said, if I had my way, I would make sure I go to places like Chicago, New York City, LA, and drop a box of guns and drugs so everybody could kill themselves and make this country great again. This is what was said on the Ku Klux Klan podcast. Now, all I want to say is this. If we don't understand that part of what made Trump so dangerous and why people holding on to his rhetoric, whether you're brown or not, that's the thing that really gets me not scared, but really concerned for everybody that's coming up under us when you got people like the Proud Boys saying we're going to have a million MAGA march. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the stuff that bothers me.
Not to be confused with the Million Maggot March.
And I mean, at the end of the day, shout out once again to Paula White, because we go strike against all racism. You know what I'm saying? And when she said, and this is the best part about everything that I love about Paula White and all evangelical racist pulpitters, she'll say, "Come talk to me. Come talk to me about what it is. I'm not scared of you." Yet when people and pundits who really know the laws and even get down in religion actually call them out and say, let's talk about this because I want to know what exactly it is that you're saying he's doing good or right, that aligns with Christian biblical beliefs, they never answer.
They never line up.
This is the stuff that
sounds good.
All the head people. He's firing all the head people. The country's in such a disarray right now that it's ridiculous. And the simple fact he got a TV show, salute.
real quick. So I just want to ask you guys real quick, based on everything that we see right now, if we had to put money on it, at what point does he decide to concede? Does he concede? Does it get to the point where they have to physically take him out the White House, or is he just trying to frame it a certain way before he takes the L? Like, if it's up to you guys, is it in the next couple of weeks? Is it by the end of the year? Or is it literally January 10th, I believe, when they physically kick him out the door? Big A, what do you think?
Yo, you know I was gonna say it's gonna be January 10th. Like, I don't think this. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
So they're physically gonna have to take him out.
This man is physically gonna have to be taken out. He's gonna be the first president that's gonna have to physically taken out. He's gonna do everything in his power, legally, okay? Because there's ways to fight this, even though he technically lost. You know, he is still technically the president, so there's loopholes in the system. But right now, we're hoping that they don't do the loophole method. But for the first time, I believe we're gonna see a president physically have to be disbarred from the White House.
Mm-hmm. Although I gotta say, I actually wouldn't mind him being escorted out by like military police. Like, part of me almost wants to see like the Jazzy Jeff get thrown out of Will Smith's house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't mind that. Part of me is like, hey, whatever. You know what I mean?
Bro, if Trump leaves, it's gonna be some kind of fiasco. You know, like Nixon getting on the plane and doing Like he's gonna
Something
because here's the
dramatic.
thing. Yeah, dude's already putting out. He's already attacking Fox News. Like he's already turned on Fox News. I was reading, you know what I'm saying, like tweets saying, "Oh, you know, the difference between the 2016 election and 2020 is Fox News." I'm like, so he's turning on them because they're like, even they're kind of moved on. I think he's going to eventually realize that, like, it's a wrap, and I think he's going to focus on trying to get a bunch of things done, or see who he can put in place before he leaves. But he's going to eventually leave because at the end of the day, like, Trump's the president, but money's money, and you don't mess with the money. And the more Trump does these antics, the more it's going to hurt the stock market. And the more the stock market gets affected because people around the world don't have faith in America, like nobody's trying to see America plunge into some like nonsense to appease Trump's ego. So at the end of the day, it's like, look, if he's got to go, he's gone. Like he's gone. It's going to happen. So I'd say like within the next few weeks to a month, when he realizes that there's nothing left to really grasp to, you'll see him start attacking people. And when he starts like just blindly attacking everybody, then you know it's about to happen sooner or later.
Yeah. I got to say, I agree. I think right now, because he's still got his legal challenges going on, which are being thrown out like, like left and right. I have a feeling he's going to let that process work out, which will probably be another couple of weeks. Once the writing's really on the wall, like, listen, the numbers aren't changed, when everything's certified, the places that had to do the recount did the recount. Once it is what it is, because like you said, like, he's also thinking post-presidency, like Trump is a brand. So not only do you not damage the money, you don't damage the brand. Like to see him escorted out like by police would be so bad for his brand. Like he would look like a loser. You don't want to, he doesn't want to look like a loser. He wants to go out like I think he's trying to frame things where he could be like, all right, well, although I was cheated, all right, he won. I'll do this for the country. He's gonna frame it a certain way. That's what they're doing right now. I think by the end of the year, he'll concede. However he does that, and then from that point on, boom, he's post election. He's got his. Besides the TV show, I could see him running a news network. You know what I'm saying? So like he has things lined up, but if you diminish the brand to the point where even your own allies aren't messing with you, that's not a good look. And I think he understands optics. So I think he doesn't want to look crazy. You know what I mean? He's crazy, but he doesn't want to look like a loser. So I think he's just trying to do it on his terms. You know what I'm saying? Forever, what do you think?
I think at the end of the day, Trump is a megalomaniac. Like his ego is just too crazy. I mean, you said him running a news station. You see this man's going to war with Fox News now.
That's what
having his back. Like I know he's crazy.
You talking about something? They bit the hand that fed them, and he's responsible for why they're popular. I'm like, bro, when you start turning on even the one news network that actually has your back, no, it's a wrap. That's what a cage. They just start attacking. They don't know, just anybody.
He's gonna talk as much shit as he can before he's out, and then I feel like he'll buy like a Breitbart or one of those like they're not really news agencies, and on the network. You know what I mean? Shah, what do you think?
I think that Trump got enough dumbass supporters, and like I said, that's why I keep saying Trump appeals to the white people that think they're losing America. They're the ones that are going to fight for him. They're the ones that are ready to throw out their whole life for him. True. Look at how many people got. I remember 4 years ago, I saw a Trump rally on the news, and a brother, a black dude, said, "Fuck Trump," got punched right in his face by an old ass white man. Like they believe in this guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, man. Like I don't think he's going out without a fight. And he's got people ready to fight for him.
Do you think he'll have to be escorted out, or do you think at some point he's like, listen, I was cheated, but I'll bow out. Like what do you feel like? Like at what moment does
Has Trump ever bowed out to anything?
No.
Maybe if you grabbed him by the pussy, he'll feel better.
Well, at some point when you declare bankruptcy, it's like it's a wrap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like it's not like
Yeah, but when has bankruptcy stopped Trump? He's been bankrupt
yeah.
like mad
yeah,
times.
yeah,
Exactly.
but what I mean
Exactly.
is like when something like when Trump University failed, he went to the next venture. He didn't, you know what I mean? So I think after a while you can frame it as all right, whatever. But you know,
How's he gonna frame conceding though? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I was cheated. What I think is I was cheated, but for the good of the country, I'll just give it to him or I'll leave. You know,
when,
like
when does he do anything that's actually for the good of the country?
well, no,
Listen,
it's not gonna be for the good, but it's the way it's worded. You know, like you know, a lot of the stuff that he says is, you know, or not so much him, but maybe his press people. They'll word it in a certain way.
Can I ask a question?
No.
Can I ask a question? Just be honest with me about anything. When has Trump ever bowed out gracefully out of anything? This is the same man that crashed his plazas, his real estate. He crashed the USFL. He made that shit crash and burn. He took control of a country, and the country has crashed and burned. He only knows one way: either wreck the train or buy the train. And unfortunately, he's done both, and this country is going to hell. So you think he's really not going to take this down to the wire and not wreck the White House? He's probably like one of them bad tenants that put a hole in the wall and break the windows before he leave the house.
You think
No.
Like, that's how I see this guy. Though.
Yeah. Hey, you agree?
Yeah. Yo, listen, I want to keep it real. I want to see him dragged out. I'm sorry. I don't care what y'all say. I want to see him dragged out because that's when it'll really hit him. It'll really hit him. It'll really hit him.
I want to see Biden looking too like. Yeah,
word. Oh yeah, with his arms folded up in the background, smiling with his head tilted. Yo,
Yeah.
I want to see him dragged out with the military police. I definitely want him to. You know why? Because it, like you said, it would hurt his brand,
Yeah.
but it would also build his brand. Remember, as long as your name is in the media, you're still relevant, and that's what he used the first term to get elected. He used all the negativity. And he had a good team, constituents, to help him flip everything that was being said about him, and had people believing in everything he was saying. They drunk the Kool-Aid. So that's why I want to his people need to see him dragged out, so their hearts can really it will be crumbled. They'll really be crushed. That will break their backs. Otherwise, they will believe. They will believe. They will still believe. No, what I'm saying is, otherwise, they will still believe in everything he says.
Yeah.
His rhetoric. So until they see that, that's when they'll be like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, for some of them, that'll be a call to arms, man. I'm not trying to see people, you know, the day that they know the government's gonna, you know, drag Trump out. He's got his militia in front of the White House or some, you know, they're in a standoff versus the Secret Service. I'm not trying.
The militia is not messing with the military.
Proud Boys.
Sorry, like
them Proud Boys ain't messing with the military.
Yeah, like
they got high tech. They got high tech.
A lot of his followers, I feel like they're bluster. Like it's all talk. Not all of them. There's the really genuine crazy ones, but they don't bring that to the hood. You know what I'm saying? They're right in Oklahoma or they're right in Pennsylvania. You know what I mean? They're not bringing that action to the hood because they don't want really to get tested. So I feel like sometimes a lot of them is like they really think that somebody just brought 5 million ballots and was like, here, Biden. Like I feel like they really think that there's some conspiracy going on. But when you see the military scoring you out, you're like, yo, maybe this cat really lost. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Hold up. I don't mean to interrupt, guys, but it's about time to pay these bills. The recap with the GoodFellaz. We talking politics. We're going to come back and we're going to talk. We got video games on deck. We got to talk about this vaccine they got popping. We'll see y'all in a few minutes. Holla at y'all.